Hello, dear friends. Despite the global chaos, I have a strong intuition that everything will work out in the end. This personal intuition has been confirmed by many messages. This film has a happy ending. Opinion piece. All will be well. Nothing is lost. Faith is certainty. All is in suspense. The world will not go awry. Time is speeding up. This movie has a happy ending. Good things take time. Gateway to a new reality. Continuous and never-ending game changer. The collapse of the European Union will expose everything. Did the Brotherhood of the Serpent dominate the earth? Let's start. I know it will all work out in the end. What I don't know is when, and if it doesn't, it is not the end. Let's not give up. It's going to be alright, as Bob Marley said. Nothing is lost if you have the courage to proclaim that all is lost, and you have to start again, said the writer Julio Cortázar. Remember that good things take time, and there is only one way to attract them. Stay strong and positive. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. I want to let you know that everything will be okay, says Matt Kahn. Even if you have no idea where things are headed or how good it might turn out the way things appear, I assure you that everything is a gateway to greater realities. In fact, everything is unfolding so precisely according to the divine plan that it is even okay to have feelings that you are afraid to face. When you are afraid to face your feelings, it just means that you are afraid of being overwhelmed by emotions that are difficult to feel. Perhaps those feelings remind you of times in life when there was hardship, distress, neglect, confusion, cruelty, betrayal, or even abandonment. Life is inherently flawless, even when emotions are suppressed. The universe gently brings you one step closer to cultivating the strength and courage to face your feelings head-on. Puffness said, in quotes, "Money has strangled many CEOs and many bankers are trying to figure out how to keep their heads. Many people have been involved in dubious activities and unsavory investments. All of that will come to light. Nothing is lost. Everything is just on hold, and it has to be because these weaklings are afraid to act, afraid to step forward. Their hands are dirty. All that will come to light at the right time. Be of good cheer. The world is not going to go wrong." Acceleration. Time is speeding up according to Cryon through Lee Carroll. In the next few years, astronomers and physicists may begin to recognize the relative time anomaly and their part in it. You are changing time in your area, but you have no other time frame to compare it to. Therefore, time appears to be the same, but all at the cellular level, most of you are aware of the acceleration that is occurring. While this may not make sense to you, there will come a time when science will say that the universe is slowing down, but the reality is that you are speeding up. It has to do with the relativity of time, with this planet, and with what you have done. Some of you wake up with anxiety in the early morning because your cells feel it. You are absolutely right if you have wondered if time is speeding up. Welcome to the beginning of a dimensionality that you didn't have yesterday. All is in flux. Everything is changing according to Archangel Michael, through James McConnell. Everything is in flux. Everything is in motion and vibration. In fact, the vibrational frequency is increasing all over the planet, which in turn is extinguishing the old lower vibration that is causing the change. It is all about change in your life now. Change because you are moving with that higher frequency through the process of light attraction. You are discovering that you are no longer comfortable in the older or lower frequency. You are being drawn to the higher frequency and to like-minded people. Therefore, you may feel like an outcast at times. Sometimes you may feel that you are isolated from your friends, your family, your loved ones. But this is to be expected. It is part of the process of change, part of the transition you are going through. And everyone is going through this transition, some having more difficulty than others. But you are moving through it nonetheless. Game change. The virus of elitism has spread around the world. Tom Hanks is rumored to have said on the day of his alleged grief, "You will never stop us. We are everywhere." In quotes. In my opinion, we will not escape the need to hear the full voice of humankind in a future world, with no one excluded and all of equal stature. Some organization, most likely a council, will emerge to assimilate the will of the village and make decisions on its behalf. I believe that councils will emerge at all levels. In the 2012 transition, the responsibility for Earth passed to the Council of Higher Dimensional Elders and the Council of Guardians of Earth. These are the councils of light that determine the direction and evolution of the planet. You work with them as you meditate for change, for peace, to end suffering, and to create the new Earth. Gone will be the parliaments and congresses made up of hundreds of deputies. If we are ascended, we will have no need for most of the restrictions we have now from government and no need of any kind that cannot be easily addressed. Therefore, the need for governance will be drastically reduced because we will be more accountable. And of course, if we are promoted, the love we will be immersed in will be the continuous and never-ending game changer. Everything will work well when we are immersed in that love. Councils, fleets, banks, medicine, educators, etc. will work. Memories of the distant past. Did an ancient serpent cult dominate the earth? It was called the Brotherhood of the Serpent. Remembering the last state of Atlantis and Lemuria and their origins according to Dr. Michael Salla. Jen Sullivan is the author of Child of the Universe, a book where she describes her memories of past lives connected with the origins of Atlantis and Lemuria and their respective destruction. The Atlanteans followed the path of rapid technological development in which red crystals were used for weapons development and imperial conquest. In contrast, the Lemurians lived a more peaceful hippie life in harmony with nature, where red crystals were used to maintain a natural immunity to all diseases and considerably prolonged their life expectancy. Lemuria was destroyed by tsunamis created by underwater detonations caused by the Atlantes, such as the Fukushima tsunami. Europe. Collapse of the European Union will expose everything. Natural gas prices soar in Europe as Gazprom prepares cuts. Russia will drastically reduce gas supplies to Germany and Europe once again. Russia's Gazprom stops another gas turbine on the Nord Stream 1 pipeline to Germany. Natural gas flows will drop from 27th July to 33 million cubic meters for only 20% of the pipeline's total capacity. A Russian gas cutoff would reduce European GDP. Viktor Orban urges peace talks in Ukraine and warns that the European Union's approach has failed and sanctions were counterproductive. European governments collapse like dominoes, the Hungarian leader said. European Union countries reach an agreement to cut gas consumption by 15% by March. Economy. The future of the economy is bleak and uncertain, warns the International Monetary Fund. Spain will continue to be the first of the large euro economies in terms of growth, although its downward revision is the largest after that of Germany. The Spanish government lowers its GDP growth forecast for 2023 to 2.7%. The IMF raises Latin America's growth to 3%, although it lowers it in 2023. The IMF improves its growth forecast for Latin America in 2022. The region will grow by 3% this year, half a point% more than it had forecast in April. This growth is thanks to a more vigorous recovery in the main economies: Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, and Chile. The Australian state's assets were now bankrupt and listed on the US stock exchange. Other news. The United Nations and the Davos Forum are behind the war on farmers. Jill Biden's press secretary is leaving the White House. FBI investigation finds Chinese-made Huawei equipment can disrupt US nuclear weapons. Possible nationwide rail strike in 30 to 60 days, right at harvest time. Where did the money go? Ukraine defaulted on loan payments after taxpayers provided tens of billions in aid. California Governor Newsom declares a state of emergency. China pulls its money out of the US economy for fear of sanctions against Russia. China is heading towards a cyber war. CCP money is falling, which is connected to the dollar and the euro, as tanks and soldiers surround the banks and 100 million Chinese civilians try to withdraw their own money with the world's second strongest economy. What is not known is that Xi Jinping, Putin, and others have organized these events to bring down the communist regime and its banks. After the collapse, the new gold-backed system will be in full effect. The current Chinese banks that have collapsed are hundreds of thousands of money laundering banks owned by known billionaires and various Chinese clans that created the CCP. In the last 6 weeks, several military generals have been replaced and President Xi has installed loyalists in all 31 provinces. The global storm is among us as China began to collapse banks that were connected to the fiat system. Taiwan conducts air raid drills across the country as China prepares against the visit of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The Chinese military will not sit idly by if Pelosi visits Taiwan and will take decisive action to curb foreign interference, according to the Chinese Defense Ministry. Chinese billionaires flee China as tough blockades continue at home. Dozens of Chinese billionaires have fled their home country or plan to do so in the near future, raising new concerns that Beijing's war plans for an invasion of Taiwan are about to be implemented. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.